In this video we're going to talk about this, the Ryobi Angle Drill. Really handy for kind of drilling in tight confined spaces, and I find it helpful both in the workshop and when working on cars and motorbikes. So I'm sure you've had the same problem as me. You're trying to drill a hole or perhaps do up a screw or something in a really confined space, and it's just a pain in the butt because the drill is just too large. So something like this right angle drill is kind of perfect for this. I picked one of these up from Ryobi. Again, like my other videos, I've got a variety of Ryobi products, so really handy to be able to use the 1+ system, be able to plug this in. I've used it a few times on a couple of projects. One was when I was building my 3D printing table, and I had some quite kind of tight angles that I was trying to drill in to put different supports in. And then also when working on the car, it's quite handy, especially if you haven't got it up on axle stands or anything, to be able to get underneath and undo bolts quite easily using a drill. And obviously with a right angle drill it's much easier to get into that. So I thought I would unbox it and just kind of show it to you, so if you're considering buying one of these you kind of get an idea of what it looks like, how it works. So this one, they're not mega powerful, so 15 Newton meters of torque and variable speed with the trigger up to 1100 RPM. Has a little LED on it, which is really handy again for especially working in confined space, so you can see that you're getting the drill bit or the screwdriver bit into the right place. This is what it looks like. We'll see it in the box. Again, I've been using it for a little while, but I'll just put it all back together to show you what it looks like. As with most Ryobi products, comes in a little bag. So we'll come back to that in a moment. Usual basic instructions and some marketing material, and then you do get a couple of drill bits in here that are kind of the reverse ones. So you got 2 flat heads and 2 Phillips heads of different sizes that you can use as standard with this angled driver. Okay, so this is it. It's got a pretty good weight to it, feels good in the hand. It's not kind of really kind of unwieldy. It does feel a bit better balanced when you have a battery in, obviously. A few features. So you can use drill bits or screwdriver bits up to 10mm wide. That's kind of the capacity of the head here. It has a magnetic section for keeping screws and drill bits in on there, as well as a single holder for a bit that just kind of clips in there. I'm going to grab a battery off the shelf so I can show you what it looks like kind of when you're using it and what it sounds like. Okay, so a couple of batteries here. We're just going to start off with the 4Ah battery. I feel that this kind of does make it a little bit unwieldy because it's quite a heavy kind of battery, so it feels a bit kind of bottom end heavy. But if you're trying to kind of use it for a long period of time, then you might want a bigger one. Personally, I prefer to use a 1.5 or 2Ah battery in here. So I'll just kind of show you the difference. When I'm trying to hold it, it definitely wants to fall down on the bottom end. It's hard to kind of balance it. You plug in this. I think this one's a 1. So this is a 1.3Ah, and it definitely kind of balances things a little bit better. So I prefer a lighter battery for using one of these. Everything kind of sits quite nicely in your hand down here. In some ways I wish it had like a double trigger, because sometimes I feel like, depending on where I'm working, I want to kind of have a trigger here as opposed to down the bottom, but it all works perfectly well. Single LED on here that you can see lights up when you're kind of using it, so great to help find the location of the screw or bolt, like I mentioned earlier. On the handle here, very kind of discreet directional buttons that you press. So you can zoom it in a little bit, you can see here they're quite small but do the job, and it is quite close to your finger when you're using it, so makes perfect sense. But that's kind of how it works and all fits together. And again, it pretty much does as it says, but I'll give you an example of kind of the tight spaces that I'd used it in when I was building this 3D printing table, just to kind of show you kind of the obvious but kind of how it all fits together. There are some grips on the top end here, so if you are kind of supporting it with two hands, you know, it does feel comfortable and ergonomic in your hand. Okay, so this is a little example of, you know, when you're trying to work in a confined space, it'd be very difficult to get a normal sized drill into a small area like this. But with the angle drill, it's very easy to be able to get up in there. Obviously, you have a drill bit in there to be able to drill holes. So I think it's not an essential tool in your work kit, but definitely makes things easier, and it's good to have a bit of versatility available. A short and sweet video, hopefully, but hopefully a little bit informative, and you know, something for you to consider if you're looking to get an angle drill. Definitely recommend, like most Ryobi products, but this one works really well. So yeah, please leave comments, feedback below. But that's it, the Ryobi 18V 1+ angled drill. Thanks for watching this video. A thumbs up would be really appreciated. If you're interested in other geek type videos, please consider subscribing to Spectrum Geeks. Why not also follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And before you leave, why don't you check out one of these other videos that may be of interest. Thanks again for watching.